Welcome to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of Doberman Technologies, Ian Richardson, for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Carrie Richardson.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carrie Richardson. I'm your host for Win. With me today is Nick Wolf, who is the Director of Partner Acquisition for Cork. Nick, how are you doing today?
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. We're talking about getting better ROI out of events and specifically how to get the best return on your investment when you're sponsoring an event the size of PAX 8 Beyond, which we are both going to be at in 3 weeks or so. What are you doing to get ready for PAX 8 Beyond, Nick?
I'm doing a lot of outbound reach right now, especially based off of the leads we engaged with last year. The prospects we gave demos to last summer after PAX 8 Beyond weren't ready for Cork. A lot of changes to our platform have been made, so encouraging them to stop by the booth, maybe meet up with us for a drink to have that one-on-one interaction, because those are some of our warmer leads since they already had a first pass look at us.
Tell me about your career in the IT channel for people who may not be familiar with you.
Yeah, so I started my career in the channel when I was in high school. I was one of the first beta testers of the Datto backup appliance, the very first one in 2008. I went to the same high school as the founder of Datto, Austin Ford. When I graduated high school, I started at Datto as a sales intern, and I spent about 10 years at the company. I started off as employee number 16 at the company. And by the time I left, we were around 2,000 employees around the globe. It was quite the fun period of my life. Got to learn hand in hand from Irvish Badiani and Rob Ray and a whole bunch of other people that are going to be at PAX 8 as well. I learned more during my early days at Datto than I did actually going into college. And I knew that during my time as an internship that staying in the IT space, specifically with managed service providers, is what I wanted to do with my career.
Wow. Just thinking back, I think I've been in the IT channel for 12 years now, and I'm 52. So if you started right out of high school,
yeah,
it's got to make you under 35?
Yeah, I'm 32. Yep.
It's an early career accelerator for sure. You learned from some of the best people in the channel.
Yeah, I'm extremely fortunate.
So tell us how you've taken all those learnings and applied it to your new role with Cork. What will you specifically do once you get on site?
Aside from working the bar, we also plan on having some key dinners. When we're at the dinner, what we really like to do is we like to do a 50-50 split with both prospects and our existing partners. That way our partners can strengthen the message going to our prospects because they're living, breathing, eating Cork on a daily basis. And what we've noticed with our existing partners is we actually like to do a revenue share with them. So around a third of our new customers are referred from our existing MSP partners, which we love here at Cork. Referral-based business is really how a lot of MSPs themselves grow as well, because they encourage their end clients to refer other customers to their organization. So for us, getting those referrals from our MSPs and meeting with our existing customers at the event is definitely key. I hear about it all the time. Sometimes our MSPs reach out to us. Hey, Nick, are you going to be at PAX 8 Beyond? Are you going to be at DattoCon, IT Nation? There's a couple MSP buddies of mine that are going as well that I would love to introduce you to. And for me, that's an absolutely great relationship to have.
Oh, that's an absolute gift. And when you transitioned out of Datto and into the next phase of your career, how loyal are MSPs when you change organizations like that?
Surprisingly loyal. Every time I've ever attended a demo with an MSP, I always add them on LinkedIn. Whether I'm a fit for them today or down the line, I always want to make that connection. So I'm connected to over 10,000 MSPs on LinkedIn right now. When I left Datto, I joined an XDR cybersecurity startup with a bunch of other ex-Datto alumni. It was a vendor called Scout Cybersecurity. They specialized in SOC, SIM, XDR technologies for MSPs. When I made that transition, my LinkedIn blew up. wow, Nick, you were one of the early guys at Datto, and now you're at this new thing called Scout. Let's hear what it's all about. Scout was another success story where in a matter of 2 years, we were able to grow the business rapidly to the point where Barracuda Networks acquired us. We grew the organization from about 10 MSPs to 250 MSPs utilizing the platform in about 18 months. So it was a real fast rocket ship. When I came over here at Cork, it was the same thing. There's some MSPs in my book of business that I probably sold 3 or 4 different vendors to over the last 10 years. They'll tell me, Nick, you didn't steer me wrong when you sold me Datto. You didn't steer me wrong when you sold me Evo Security. If you're at Cork, it's got to be something cool. Let me check it out. Because I'm all about relationship building when I'm selling to a customer. Yeah, I like swiping the credit card, but I don't want to sell a lousy product that's not really going to fit into an MSP stack just for the sake of hitting quota. I want to sell something that's actually going to be a meaningful impact for their organization and their clients. So as crazy as this sounds coming from a sales rep, I'm okay saying no. I'm okay saying, you know what, to be honest, this product isn't a great fit for your use case right now. I don't want to take your money.
I'd much rather engage with a company at the exact right time for them.
Yeah. And when I'm on these conversations with MSPs, after you've been doing this for so long, you're less of a sales rep and you're more of a subject matter expert. In a lot of cases, us as vendors, we go to more channel events than most MSPs do, right? They might be going to 2 or 3 events a year. If you're a vendor, I'm probably going to 15 events this year. I'm always on the road traveling. So every now and then I'll have an MSP give me a call saying, hey, Nick, I got a question. I want to get your feedback on how Duo compares to Microsoft Authenticator for MFA. I'll just give them my honest feedback. I don't get paid from other vendors. I'll just say, yeah, that vendor's doing cool things, or no, that's a vendor you might want to avoid.
There's one thing that I learned in the last 5 years that I wish I'd known early in my career: nobody leaves the channel. We just circulate.
Same faces, different shirts, because there's a really big vendor in the space that likes to buy some smaller vendors. So every now and then you'll see that same face just wearing a different hat or a different shirt.
So you mentioned that you're doing some outbound engagement prior to PAX 8. Is that normally how you prepare? Do you plan out your own outbound engagement, or is that something that's given to you by someone else at Cork and you're following a process?
It's really a multi-person approach. So the BDR team that are basically reaching out to cold outbound people that have never taken a Cork demo before, they're encouraging the local list to meet up with us at the event. For me personally, I'm working on the people that I already closed because of last event, or the people that are still in my pipeline that are maybe in that demo completed stage or negotiation stage, that they know Cork, they've seen the demo, they just haven't made it over the finish line yet. So I'll be personally reaching out to them, inviting them to have some one-on-one FaceTime with our CEO or director of technology, or coming to dinner with us.
So there's a different strategy for cold, non-engaged leads.
Correct. I'll work those warmer leads, and then a BDR team will be more of that engagement. And typically, if it's not something like PAX 8 Beyond, they'll be pushing those colder leads to something else. Attend this webinar.
Mm-hmm. So what is your conversion rate like from someone hands you a card at the booth, or you scan their badge, through to signed closed deal?
Yeah, so for us, getting the scanned badge and the business card typically goes to the BDR team. We consider that a colder lead if it's just a scanned badge. Our major focus for the people attending the actual event is, if you're serious, let's book the demo now. That's why we'll have the iPads out, the laptops out. If we're going to an event that has 1,000, 2,000 attendees, we're shooting to get 50 real solid book demos and beyond. And when they're booking those demos, we're asking some qualifying questions as well. Who are you using for RMM and EDR? Do you have cyber insurance? How many endpoints do you manage? That way we get some real visible data, real time at the event, that shows, hey, was this event worth our time? Is it our target market? Yeah, because we got 50 demos booked within 3 days. Of those 50 demos, 75% have over 1,000 endpoints. If you're a vendor, I highly recommend trying to get that demo on the books there at the event, because you're going to be there. You don't have to play phone tag. The MSP will have their calendar on their phone. That's the way to do it. And if they're at a point where they're not ready to book a demo, then okay, you know what? That's an MSP that's going to be on the back burner. They might take an extra month or two of follow-ups from your BDR team before they're ready to get that next step of booking the demo.
And have you got those sequences pre-built in your CRM, or do you leave it up to personal opinion or feeling?
The BDR team has that already pre-built. Once the lead is on my calendar as a sales rep, it's my responsibility to make sure that they attend, or try to rebook them if they're a no-show, if there's a scheduling conflict.
So your handoff point is qualified and agreed to meet.
Absolutely.
The BDR takes it from initial cold call to qualified meeting booked on your calendar. You take it from qualified meeting booked on your calendar all the way to contract closing.
Correct. Yep.
And then is it handed off to onboard?
Typically, we would introduce Zoe from our partner success team, who's responsible for getting the account onboarded, set up, and trained properly. I'm always going to be there because a lot of partners like to leverage someone like me to do a webinar for their clients or a podcast to explain Cork's new service offering to their end clients. So I'm happy to do that as well after the sale closes.
How does the Cork sales process from initial cold call to final closed deal compare to some of the other places that you've worked with?
Yeah, great questions. I would say our close rates are actually higher even than what I experienced as Datto. As great of a product as Datto was back in the day, backup and disaster recovery was a highly competitive market. A lot of other backup solutions out there. And even though Datto had some key unique differentiators, it was still a backup disaster recovery solution. With Cork and our compliance monitoring and cyber warranty, it's a very interesting approach because we don't really have any competition. With our $500,000 cyber warranty, it's vendor agnostic. We're providing fast payouts regardless of the client and who they're utilizing. It doesn't matter to us if they're using Webroot, SentinelOne, Huntress, or Bitdefender. We pay out across everything. Typically, the only minor competition would be if an individual product has some version of a cyber warranty. SentinelOne offers $1 million cyber warranty, but it's only for the SentinelOne installed products. With us, we're protecting everything, whether SentinelOne's installed or not. That's something that is leading to our higher close rates because it's new, unique, and different to the market.
So you've already begun planning or outreach for the event. How early do you usually begin?
Usually a month out.
Have you noticed a difference if you begin earlier or later?
Yeah, I would say if you're doing it 2 or 3 months in advance, sometimes the MSPs don't even have their tickets booked by then. MSPs are like a spur of the moment. I just decided this month that I'm going. And you don't want to wait until the week of, because if you're trying to do a dinner or something, it's possible that another vendor already got that MSP you're looking to target on their schedule as well.
At this point, you wouldn't be able to get a hotel reservation, let alone the dinner reservations are likely gone on property.
I registered for PAX 8 a couple of weeks ago, and I'm staying off-site as a vendor. So you definitely got to book those things in advance for sure.
Yeah, I like that property. It's well laid out. PAX 8 really does a lot to make it their own during the event. What are some of the things that you've seen that had great impact for vendors? So swag, for example, what do people love this year? What should people avoid?
Yeah, for me, I'm a sucker for charging cables. Like, I feel like I'm always in the need of a charging cable when I'm traveling. So this is what I got for Barracuda Networks, and it has USB-C, it has the old-fashioned iPhone, it has for your Apple Watches, the little puck thing. So I am definitely a sucker for charging cables because I always use and need charging cables. So I think our last question needs to be, who is performing at PAX 8?
Do we know yet? I don't think it's been announced.
I don't think they advertised that. Last year when it was ludicrous, like it wasn't publicly available that it was ludicrous. There was just a whole bunch of rumors floating around. So we got to figure out who is going to be the key performer this time around. Do you have any?
I have zero. You know what? I had somebody from the advisory council on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. He might have known, but he wasn't sharing.
Okay.
So, do we want to place bets? We had Ludacris last year. We had Nelly the year before that.
Yep.
What other 80s, 90s popular, not too profane rappers can we bring in?
Yeah, and I know at IT Nation there was Flow Rider.
Yeah, MSP Block Party brought that in.
It was a great time. I'll go with LL Cool J.
I think our last question needs to be, what should people come to talk to you about at PAX 8 Beyond?
Yeah, come check us out at our booth if you want to learn how we're able to monitor your clients' environments. That way they could instantly qualify for a cyber insurance policy at a discounted rate, as well as talk to us about our cyber warranties, which could supplement and lower the cost of cyber insurance overall for clients. We'll be there. Feel free to stop by.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Nick. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'll look forward to seeing you in Denver in June.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
You've been listening to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? We're so glad you've joined us and know you're one step closer to winning big in your business too. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to connect@rnr.consulting. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you'll easily know when new episodes are available. Until next time, you can win, and we're here to help.